Hi everybody, today I'm going to be talking about and showing you some of the yarns I use for personal projects and projects I make for kids in need. And I'm going to tell you about why I like the specific different kinds of yarns for the projects that I make. I'll start with the cotton, the kitchen cotton, which I use for dishcloths, and I keep several balls of this on hand so that I have yarn to use for like purse projects, which is basically that I keep a dishcloth in progress in my purse, just so if I'm out somewhere and have to wait, like say if I'm going to an interview or like waiting for the doctor or whatever, I have something to work on while I'm just sitting there and otherwise would be doing nothing. I have this sock yarn that I picked up a while back that I just haven't gotten around to using. It is 75% superwash and 25% nylon that I'm planning on using to make my first pair of socks. And like I just haven't, really wanted to sit down and take the time to learn how to knit socks on my own yet, so that's why it's still kind of sitting and waiting for me. And I still have a skein of alpaca wool. The first skein I already have knit up into a winter hat, and this skein I'm waiting just to really figure out what I want to do with it. Like I'm thinking about another hat, but I'm not 100% sold on if I want to use it for a hat for me yet. I have two skeins of this lace that is 8% acrylic, 10% mohair, and 10% wool that I picked up at the local craft store. And I picked it up because I liked the colors and I thought it was pretty, and I want to make a lacy shawl with it. So I'm hoping to get around to doing that here in the near future. And this has to be like my favorite yarn for personal projects. It is Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, and I currently have 4 full skeins left, and I'm working with the skein, and I've used it for quite a few like winter projects, like scarves and hats and that kind of thing. And I like it because it's 100% wool, but it's still got the natural lanolin in it, so that if it should get wet, it'll still hold up through like getting wet and washing it and letting it flat to dry and all that good stuff. And it's also really warm without being super heavy, which is important, especially if you're out in the snow and doing all kinds of winter sports and just being outside during the winter. For like projects I do for kids in need, I use a 100% acrylic yarn, just because it holds up, it can be washed, and kids aren't really that gentle with, clothes and whatever, and things that it's sent around the world, the parents don't always have, like, washing machines like I do, like I would have access to take care of garments like I would, so it's like sometimes they're just washed in the river and beaten against a rock. So I found that acrylic wool, or acrylic yarn, holds up really well for that kind of thing, and it doesn't shrink, and it's color fast and inexpensive and really just easy to work with. I am currently holding a skein of Red Heart yarn, and I have 2 more here next to me that just in a color that goes with the solid. And this happens to be my favorite brand of yarn for these kinds of projects, just because they don't have a dye lot, so it's easy to, if you start a project and you run out, you can go to the local craft store, find some more, and that the colors will match up, and you don't have to worry about matching dye lots or making 100% sure that you have enough getting started. Or if you're given some and then you get into a project and need more, you can easily go to the store and get some. And Red Heart has a ton of colors in their Super Saver yarn, which is amazing, and I could spend hours in the craft store aisle just looking at all the different colors and you know, coming up with a ton of different color combinations that would all be pretty and cute and that kids would love. And the thing with Red Heart, though, is like their skeins are 5 to 7 ounces, so to make a sweater you need at least 2, or sometimes 3 for the bigger sweaters, which can be a pain, just because you have to like switch skeins more often. Especially if you're using a solid color, you'd have to change the skein at least once when you ran out, but if you're doing, you know, multiple colors, you would change it out every time you switch colors. So that can be kind of a pain, but at the same time, it's still my favorite yarn despite that. Caron also makes 100% acrylic yarn in several different really pretty colors. I just grabbed the purple one because it was pretty. And being that they're 1 pound, they would for sure make any size of the sweaters for the kids for World Vision, which is nice, so that if you just choose just to use a solid color like this color, you could get any size sweater out of the one skein, which is really nice. But with these, I tend to put patterns up the front just to differentiate the front from the back, and so that I'm doing something different even though I'm using a solid color. Lion Brand also makes a Pound of Love. That's their 1 pound skeins in also several different colors. Well, this knits up nice and makes soft sweaters. It's not my favorite, mostly because I've had the little plies to separate, so I have to make sure that I get all the plies when I'm knitting stitches, which, you know, can be frustrating at times, and I hate splitting stitches and dealing with it, so that's the only reason why. And it's also thinner than the Caron. And if you look at them, you can see that the Caron is thicker than the Lion Brand, but, you know, this will still keep a kid warm, and it works, and for the color and the price, it's still a decent bargain. So that's all the yarn I have to show you today, and I want to thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos from me. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button below, and